If you're a woman who grew up in the 1970s, you were raised during a time of quiet change, a time where expectations were still traditional, but something new was beginning. And growing up in that space shaped the way you think, feel, and navigate life today. You were raised between two different worlds. On one side, there were expectations, how you should act, how you should carry yourself. But at the same time, there was a growing sense of independence, new ideas, new possibilities. So, from early on, you learned how to balance both. You learned how to adapt, how to read situations, how to move carefully and intelligently. That became part of who you are. You developed strength, but not always in a loud way. You learned to stay composed, to carry things, to keep things moving. That's where your strength comes from. It's quiet, but it's consistent. Growing up in that era also made you highly aware. You learned to pay attention to people, to tone, to subtle changes, because communication wasn't always direct, so you learned to understand what wasn't being said. You can read energy, you can sense tension, you notice things others miss. Responsibility came early. You helped at home. You took care of things. So responsibility didn't start in adulthood. It was always there. That's why even now, you naturally step in, you handle things, you organize, you support. Connection meant something deeper. You grew up talking face to face, having real conversations, being present. So today, you still value that. Depth over surface, meaning over convenience. You can function in the modern world, but part of you still prefers when things feel real. And just like everything else, you adapted. You moved from a slower environment into a fast-moving world, and you adjusted. You became flexible, resilient, capable. But sometimes, that ability to handle everything turns into carrying too much. You take on responsibility, you support others, you keep things together, but you don't always say when it's heavy. You just keep going. There's also a deeper awareness of time. You've seen how quickly things change, so you value moments more. You notice things more. You understand what matters. And then there's nostalgia. For you, it's not just remembering. It's grounding. It reconnects you to a time that felt slower, more real, more present. Certain songs, certain places, certain memories. They don't just remind you. They bring you back. You didn't just grow up in the 70s. You evolved through it. You learned to balance expectations and independence, strength and awareness, past and present. And that's what shaped who you are today. And even now, that influence is still there. It shows up in how you think, how you respond, how you carry yourself through life. You don't always talk about it, but it's there.